Long before smartphones became extensions of our daily lives, communication was a slow and uncertain process. Humans relied on handwritten letters, messengers, or telegraph codes that traveled across wires in short bursts of electricity. Messages took hours or even days to arrive, making the world feel vast and disconnected. By the mid-19th century, society had evolved enough that people needed faster, clearer, and more direct ways to communicate. Scientists across Europe and America began questioning whether the human voice could somehow travel through wires. This period became the birthplace of many experimental ideas, some successful, many forgotten. Yet all led to the foundations of modern communication technology. The need was clear. Humanity wanted to shrink distance and feel connected instantly. One of the earliest breakthroughs came from the discovery that sound was essentially vibration. Scientists realized that if these vibrations could be converted into electrical signals, they might be transmitted across wires just like Morse code. This idea, though primitive, opened a door that inventors would race through for decades. The telegraph had proven that electrical impulses could travel long distances rapidly, but it lacked emotion, tone, and natural speech. Inventors wanted more. They dreamed of carrying the human voice itself, something alive, expressive, and unmistakably human. Their challenge was enormous. Electricity was unpredictable, sound waves were complex, and no one yet understood how to blend the two coherently. But ambition pushed them forward, and by the late 1800s, the race to create a speaking machine had officially begun. Among the many thinkers interested in sound transmission was Alexander Graham Bell, a man born into a family deeply invested in speech and communication. Bell's father and grandfather were experts in elocution, and his mother, who was deaf, inspired him to study the nature of sound. His early career revolved around teaching the deaf, but his curiosity in acoustics soon led him to experiment with electrical sound transmission. Bell wasn't the only one chasing the idea. Elisha Gray, another brilliant inventor, was developing similar concepts at the same time. This rivalry would soon spark one of the most debated patent races in history. But Bell had one advantage that shaped his destiny: his personal motivation to understand the human voice on a deeper level. Bell worked tirelessly on an apparatus that could convert vibrations into electrical signals and back into sound. His big breakthrough came through an accidental discovery. One day, while working with his assistant Thomas Watson, Bell spilled acid onto wires, causing them to react unexpectedly. Watson heard Bell's voice faintly transmitted through the device, proving that vocal vibrations could indeed travel through electrical currents. This moment is often described as one of the most iconic sparks in communication history. Bell quickly refined the device, realizing the potential was enormous. No longer was this a dream. It was a functioning technology that could change the world. With newfound confidence, Bell rushed to secure a patent for his invention. On March 7, 1876, Bell successfully filed the patent for what would officially be recognized as the first telephone. Just 3 days later, he made history with his famous words, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." It may seem simple, but hearing a voice transmitted through a wire was nothing short of miraculous in that era. This single sentence marked the dawn of a new communication age. News of Bell's invention spread rapidly, astonishing scientists and the public alike. Demonstrations were held across cities, drawing crowds who couldn't believe their ears. Investors began lining up, eager to be part of what they sensed would become one of humanity's most transformative innovations. As Bell's invention gained global attention, the telephone industry exploded almost overnight. Companies emerged in major cities, installing switchboards, laying wires, and building networks that connected homes and businesses. Early switchboard operators, mostly women, played a crucial role in routing calls manually, plugging and unplugging wires as conversations occurred. Telephones, once rare and experimental, quickly became markers of status and modernity. People were fascinated by the idea that they could speak to someone miles away in real time. Even governments realized the strategic value of rapid communication. Within a decade, telephone lines stretched across continents, transforming commerce, politics, and daily human interaction forever. As the 20th century began, telephones evolved rapidly. The bulky wooden box designs were replaced with sleeker desk models. The rotary dial system changed how people connected calls, eliminating the need for human operators in many locations. Telephone infrastructure expanded across oceans through massive undersea cables, allowing nations to communicate instantly. Businesses relied heavily on the new technology, and cities became more connected than ever. Telephone culture began shaping society. People could maintain relationships, coordinate work, and share news effortlessly. What once was a miracle slowly became an expectation, embedding itself into everyday life. The mid-20th century brought another revolution, the birth of the transistor and the rise of electronic switching systems. These innovations made telephones faster, smaller, and more reliable. Long-distance calls became more affordable, and the first international direct dial services appeared. Then came mobile communication experiments, bulky car phones and radio-based devices that hinted at the wireless future. By the 1970s, engineers were already dreaming of a world where telephones could fit in a person's hand and travel anywhere. Technology was accelerating, and the telephone was evolving from a stationary household device into something far more personal and mobile. The late 20th century exploded with innovation as mobile phones became commercially available. Early models were large, heavy, and expensive, yet they symbolized the future. As technology improved, mobile phones grew smaller, smarter, and more affordable. By the 1990s, texting became a cultural phenomenon, changing the way people communicated. But the biggest transformation arrived with the introduction of smartphones. Devices now combine telephony with cameras, internet access, apps, and computing power. The telephone was no longer just a communication tool. It became a multifunctional digital companion that reshaped global culture, business, and lifestyle. Today, the telephone has evolved into one of the most powerful technologies ever created. With smartphones, we communicate instantly across continents through video calls, social apps, and wireless networks. Yet at the core of these advancements lies the same principle discovered more than a century ago: the transmission of sound through electrical signals. Alexander Graham Bell's invention did far more than shrink distance. It transformed the way humans connect, collaborate, and experience the world. As technology continues to advance through AI, satellite communication, and quantum networks, the telephone story is still being written, proving that even a single idea can reshape the future of humanity. In the end, the story of the telephone is more than the evolution of a device. It is the evolution of human connection. From simple vibrations carried through a wire to the limitless digital networks we use today, each innovation brought us closer together. And as technology continues to advance, one thing remains certain: our desire to connect will keep shaping the world we build next. Thank you for watching, and until the next journey through history.